Hi everybody, it's Honest John. Originally I was going to do one video about the 7 deadly sins, but as I started writing it, I realized there's so much to talk about. I'm going to have to do a series, 7 videos, each dealing with one sin at a time. So we'll start with pride. The most famous quote, you're all familiar with: pride goeth before a fall. But the word pride nowadays has a lot of different meanings, and most of them are much different than what the quote or the original meaning of the word pride as a sin is. So let's kind of get them out of the way. For example, there's nothing wrong with accomplishing something and feeling proud of it. I'm proud of many things that I've done. I remember performing at a fundraiser that amassed $300,000 for the United Negro College Fund. Now, this didn't have really much to do with me. It had to do with the generosity of the donors, but I'm proud to have been a part of that. I'm proud that I'm able to make a living as a stand-up comic, and it's something that not everybody can do. So even though I'm far from rich, I'm proud of it. And there's nothing wrong with having a positive self-image. I like me. I think I'm a good person. I think I have good qualities. I hope everybody else feels the same way about themselves. The pride that becomes the deadly sin is not anything like that. It is what we call today ego tripping, or just tripping. As in, man, that guy's tripping. What a moron. It is a feeling of superiority. The belief that you are just better than everybody else. And it's officially enshrined in certain countries that have a tradition of royalty or nobility. Even though, for the most part, kings, queens, dukes, earls, barons, etc. are now just merely figureheads, there is something really irrational about the belief that just being born out of a certain uterus automatically makes you more special than other people. Or there's a phenomenon that occurs frequently in Hollywood, although it's not uncommon everywhere else in the world. And that's the diva syndrome. And yes, guys can be divas too. A diva feels that he or she is entitled to special treatment. It is very common among famous people, but total unknowns can also be divas. As a comic, I often have people come up to me after a show and tell me I'm great. And it's really amazing to me that people want my autograph or to have a picture taken with me. And sometimes spectacularly beautiful women flirt with me. But you know what? I'm the same guy that once was too shy even to talk to women. At one time, I, like most of the people in the United States, labored on in anonymity as a nurse. So I understand that what I am is a regular guy with a real good job. A sub-variation on the sin of pride, by the way, is racism. Now, you might think at first that this is an entirely different thing, but think about it. Racism is the belief that just because you belong to a certain race, you are better than everybody in all the other races. Now that is usually associated with white people, but it's actually fairly common in all races and ethnicities, and that includes black people. There used to be a myth that black people wouldn't be racist, but I think one thing that is really true is that black people can do anything that white folks can do, including feeling superior. But we'll use white racists as an example. You have trailer trash thinking they are superior to some Asian guy who can do quadratic equations in his head while these guys can barely add. You have people who feel that they are better than people who are smarter, stronger, faster, more fun to be with, just because those people don't have the same color skin. As a recent sunburn sufferer, I find it really hard to believe that having white skin makes me superior. Now, moving away from racism, let me give one final example of pride, and this perfectly illustrates the pride goes before a fall quote. George W. Bush. George W. Bush was and is a profoundly stupid man. His supporters make a lot of excuses for the incredibly daft and funny quotes he has given us. But the fact is, what came out of his mouth was what was going on in his head. His thinking is muddled, unclear, and completely unoriginal. Yet, he believed he was the smartest person in the room. It is why he holds the crown as worst president ever. And his pride, arrogance, and stupidity is the reason that the United States is in the sorry state it is today. Thanks for listening.